Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. Hope everybody had a nice Easter for those of you who are celebrating. And it is time, as always, for that weekly painting progress. I mentioned the last time I posted one of these, I was going to be on spring break. And I have to say, this was the dullest spring break I have experienced in a long time. Probably didn't help that my family did not all have matching spring breaks. And I was telling my wife that it was more a spring break of doing the things that I had to do and needed to do versus the things that I wanted to do. Did manage to do a couple of the things I wanted, and obviously we got a few things painted up. So, without further ado, let's start taking a look at them. I had mentioned I was going to be working on more of these Menat Arms from Bestiarum, and I am trying to get this camera adjusted. This is a new camera, and I'm not really digging it yet, but it'll take me a while to figure this out, so bear with me. But this is the torchbearer, obviously. I want to brighten up that yellow. I don't think it came out very good. I did leave his shield blank for the time being. I know one of you guys suggested using some of those acrylic markers, those paint pens, and I am absolutely going to try that, so I figured why butcher it with an abhorrent paint job when I can just draw an abhorrently awful looking picture with it later on, right? So we'll give that a shot. Very simple, very straightforward, and I don't have any matte sealer, so everything is going to be very shiny today, unfortunately. And to go along with him, we've got one of the crossbowmen. I like this model a lot. Again, nice, simple paint job. If it's far away, you can see it gets the job done. All the colors, primary, major colors are where they need to be, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Continued working on some of my Solar Auxilia guys for Legion Imperialis, or whatever tiny scale stuff that I end up using, some of the flamethrower troops. And this time I decided to start working on some of the larger guys. I've got a unit of Ogryn, and then one of the Striders. Very simple paint jobs for tiny little models. I'm not going to exert a ton of effort on something so minuscule. But they are kind of fun to paint, I gotta say. I really do like the fact that, at this scale you can have a lot of cool big stuff, and we definitely have some cool big stuff to show off this week, which we will. In addition to cool big stuff, though, I did manage to get a couple of models out of Mr. Percival's Sparkle Trout. This is a Imperial troop of the Empire, from Skullforge Studios. I gotta say, he did a pretty nice job on the shading there with the white. I hate painting that, but, I guess it's a lot easier when you're doing one guy versus, 50 guys. But I thought it came out pretty cool. We keep talking about using... we keep talking. There's a lot of talk in this family about things we're going to use. And then another short guy. This one comes to us from Print Minis, and again is painted up by Sparkle Trout in his very worker utilitarian style. Not so combat looking, much more foreman on the job type. Alright, another Erkman's Mini. This one, obviously, is Dante, except it's not just regular Dante, it's Devil May Cry 2 Dante, which is something we don't see very often. We always see the one from the first game, but he's got that snappy little vest on. And I swear that they made, these mini Revoltech Kyoto figures years ago. I thought it was for games 1 and 2. I know 1 for sure. I had a bunch of them. I had almost a complete set. Had the little mannequins, had Nero, had various Dantes, and I thought they had a number 2 Dante, but I guess maybe that's just me misremembering things, but I did try to give him his ebony and ivory pistols there. I don't know if that's the right hand for him, but I don't really care. He gets the job done. I butchered his face. His jacket is kind of obscuring his face, And I did a wonderful job of constantly messing it up. So apologies to Erkman and apologies to Dante and Capcom for an awful job on his face. We're going to get it as far away as possible so we don't have to focus on that, but I always like that pose. Alright, what else we got? This crazy busy Dragon Man Samurai from Raging Heroes. I can't help myself with these Raging Hero figures. He is on a 40mm base. There's just an awful lot of stuff going on, and I think I did a decent job of kind of picking out all of those different things. Absolutely having some matte sealer would help, and I did a terrible job on the support removals. Look at that. He is carrying 6 different swords. Would have been kind of cool to see him using them all in battle. That's one of my gripes with a lot of these types of figures, is they're in very static poses. But then again, you know, obviously, if you have it in a super dynamic pose, that kind of limits its usage as well. So he's got 2 right there. And then 2 on each side at the back. But he's just got crazy complex armor. There's a lot of stuff going on. Lots of straps. Lots of things hanging off of him. Lots of spines. Lots of bendy, curvy tail parts. There's all the various spikes and horns and armor there going on by his head. It's just, there's a lot to take in. I don't think I ever saw any painted ones. I think they maybe had like a CG rendering of him in color, but to me that wasn't enough. Like I said, he's a big dude. That's okay. Now, I unfortunately double-checked what this guy was called. Can't remember. Checked again and still forgot. So this is a model from Comet Lord who is gearing up for a big crowdfunding campaign, which we'll have a link to. I don't think this guy was going to be available, but there are a lot of very unique and interesting models in there, especially if you like that kind of Soulsborne-esque, dark gothic, you know, messed upness. I can't even explain it. It's like gothic horror, I guess, for lack of a better term. Anyway, I ended up channeling a bit of the Adeptus Mechanicus, I think, with that color scheme, but that might have been intentional. He is absolutely going to end up in some kind of a 5 parsecs or one of those type skirmish game. I love that bulb head. I'm sure I was channeling some Steve Ditko Mysterio vibes with the green there, but that's okay. Just a fun, wild model. He is on a 40mm base as well. I probably could have fit him on something smaller, but he's just kind of going so everywhere. And I want to say there were versions that may have had less arms, but one of the cool things about Comet Lord's stuff, especially if you go back through his Patreon models, and I'm sure it's going to be the same for his upcoming campaign, he often has, you know, maybe only 4 figures a month, but then those 4 figures will have, like, you know, 8 or 9 variations at times, and there's just, some of them can be wildly different from each other. So there's some fun stuff to be had there. But yeah, I'm going to throw him in with some AdMech guys of some sort. And finally, the thing that I didn't think I would actually get to or finish is this big bad boy. And I don't think I did the best job. I absolutely tried as we get things zoomed out. And that is one of the, what were they called? Brute Wyverns? Behemoth Wyverns from Dragon Trapper's Lodge to go with the Children of the Flame. I wanted to go with a nice dark tank look. And again, apologies, the matte sealer I had just went kaput. But I love just how smashed and dented up he is. I tried to do some poor attempts at weathering. But I did try. Again, this is a thing that really makes me question what's going on. We've got this wheel. I'm almost assuming it's like a door here. And there's somebody sitting inside there. But there's no like viewfinder unless I guess I paint one right there. But you can see that it's got the rivets, so I don't think that's the case either. And then there's another like a winch or something right here for, I'm assuming, to aim that gun of whatever type it is. put some tally marks on it. So I don't know what's inside there, and who's going to be firing this thing? That's the other thing that kept running through my head while I am getting... Whoa, that looks so much nicer and clearer, and I don't know why the color just went like that. That's bizarre. I'm going to blame this new camera. I'm like looking around for my Children of the Flame, because there's always at least one or two of them hanging around here. I love this size of model from Dragon Trapper's Lodge. I want to say it's probably a 75mm base. It seems too small. Maybe it is 100. I don't know. Not too big, not too small, but big enough that it has a nice presence, you know? But this was kind of my test run before I went ahead and started in on the big, ridiculous behemoth one that has, like, the whole bunker on his back and has, like, you know, the long-range cannon up there. So, slowly but surely, my Children of the Flame army is taking shape. I think before I tackle the big Wyvern, I'm probably going to go back and work on one of the various dragons that the Children of the Flame have. Like one of the aerial ones. I didn't paint you this week. Like we have these two guys, and then everybody else. Not a bad haul. Hopefully all of you guys out there are enjoying yourselves as well for whatever holiday staycation, vacation you might be having. Hopefully you're going to get some stuff painted. And hopefully I will get back to trying to post stuff, because I feel like I didn't do anything. I really feel like I did not do anything fun and exciting while I was off from work. It was like taxes and car stuff. So, yeah. But as always, we'll have links to all this stuff down below if you want to check any of it out yourself. Do a better job than me. Show off what you've been working on. Just generally bug me and pick my brain for whatever interesting info you can find. I'm always available in that regard and always enjoy it as well. So you can check that stuff out below. And with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamerlane with Obscurities and Miniatures saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.